Hello to everyone. I wanted to put together a short video clip on how to use Same But Different from a distance. I've been noticing a lot of traction on social media around using this routine, which makes me really excited. And I just want to be a level of support on what that might look like from home, because obviously that's different for your students and yourself than if you have students in front of you. So I put together this short video in PowerPoint. And there's a link if you want to actually have this PowerPoint, but hopefully at the end of 5 minutes or so together, this will be making sense to you. First and foremost, what matters most right now for everybody is all of our collective social, emotional, and physical well-being. And so I want to make sure to mention that. I hope that you are doing okay, that your family and loved ones and your students are all doing okay. And so I think right now it's about having that personal connection and taking care of one another. So I think that's just a really important thing for me to acknowledge. It's hard to continue forward with work, but at the same time, I think that's part of our students' social, emotional well-being as well as our own. If we can maintain some semblance of what we're used to, I think that helps everyone. And so perhaps this is one of the ways that you do that. So I want to talk about quality and equity. So in this space of having to send things home instead of having our students in front of us, we want to really be thoughtful about sending things that are of quality and that provide opportunities for equity as best we can. Of course, we want to be kind to ourselves because none of us are going to be perfect at this right now. And any sort of outreach and anything you're able to manage to do is totally fine and totally acceptable. I believe that Same But Different is a way of keeping in mind and being mindful of the quality of what's sent home. And I think if we can find a way to do this that can sort of get around technology and equities, we might be able to provide a nice opportunity that's sort of a win-win round. So to that end, I created a new protocol, and I want to go through each of these steps with you. The first is that we need to share images with our students. If they have technology and you are using ways to outreach, like holding a Zoom meeting, using Google Classroom, sending out emails, then you're going to easily be able to attach like an image of the week that you might use. If that's problematic, you can print out images or you can print out a list of ideas. So Same But Different at its heart is all about compare contrast. So what are some things that students could compare and contrast? And I have an example using some fruit. I just put it together at the end of the slide so you can see an example and you could show your students. So we can use technology. If we can't, we can communicate using some words, printing out some ideas, and encouraging kids to make their own, to look around their homes, to look around and get curious as they compare and contrast different things and find out about those features that are the same but different. The second step is encouraging your students to brainstorm. So you can use the journal pages that some of you might have that you can download if you go to the website, but we can simply draw a line down the middle of a page. One side says same, one side says different, and we just have you brainstorm. Just get all of your thoughts out and down on paper. So again, if we are doing that online, that's great. We've got our group together, but if not, then your students are just channeling all that down onto a piece of paper with a line down the middle. If they're really young, maybe they have somebody at home they can have a conversation with. And then the next step is where they're going to summarize. They're going to go through that brainstorming list and come up with 2 statements that kind of capture, maybe they're picking, the thing that stands out the most, and it's usually going to be like their first thing. They're answering, they are the same because blank. They are different because blank. So this is a nice opportunity for kids to keep a journal so they can just be writing those 2 sentences down. The next step is the share. This is where this becomes optional. This is a matter of, can you gather your students together and share? Does the population that you serve have access to technology in an equitable way? Or are we going to have to get creative around the share? And then the last step is asking students, now that, I've given you an image to look at or an idea, I'd like you to go and create your own. And so maybe, Wednesdays are Same But Different Wednesdays. I don't know, but these are the steps that I would use at home that definitely are a little bit different than the protocol that's listed on the website, so that we can adapt to the environment that we're in and think about how to give all kids access to this opportunity. I'd like to start with this image here, even when I've used this routine with high school students. If you're going to conduct this on a platform such as Zoom or whatever platform you might have the capability of using, I would hold your first class meeting around how to do this using this image. Obviously, they're cute. It's engaging, that we're not intimidated by wondering what is the mathematics that they hope I see, right? But we can just simply look and observe and notice and then go through those steps. So I want you to all brainstorm, write those things down. I want you to summarize that using those 2 sentence stems. Maybe there's a way for them to share. And now that we've done this one, I'd like you to go ahead in your journal and create one of your own. So that's kind of a walk through the steps of how you might host that on a meeting. How can you share? So again, the share right now might have to be optional, but what they can do is write it down. So they can be journaling. It's a really good time for that. You can pair them up on Zoom. There are those breakout rooms. So if you know how to use that and you have that capability, you can pair the students off and then bring them back together. Can encourage them to go ahead, take your brainstorm, and now speak with someone in your family about what you noticed. They could submit ideas using something like Google Classroom. They could take a picture and email it to you. And you could take all of those solutions and create a slideshow and then send that out so that everybody could see each other's work and you could have an ongoing dialogue. So maybe on Wednesday it goes out, and then the following Wednesday we take a look at what you received with a few examples, and then you present the new one, something like that. Again, this piece is optional because you might not be able to pull this together given the demands of your population, your own situation. I'm not really sure. I do think that we can still engage kids with this opportunity if it's appropriate without worrying about the share part right now. If they are keeping a journal, tell your students, I can't wait to see those when we're back together again. And we don't know when that back together again might be, but mean that when you say that. And so, they feel that at some point that work's going to be validated. So again, just letting you know it's okay if we can't share right now. The point of this routine, big picture, is for kids to have an inner dialogue where when they encounter new information in the world, they compare that and they say to themselves, oh, this is just like that. And you probably do this normally, right? They're having an inner dialogue. It's the same as, but it's a little different. So they encounter fractions for the first time and they're like, oh, it's kind of like whole numbers. I see these numbers, but it means something different, right? So we want to teach kids how to do this on their own. And so maybe this is an opportunity to shift this, putting it into students' toolkit. So this is something they can go off and do on their own. Here's an example. Fruit is, interesting, right? Getting our food right now, whatever. This is what I could scrounge around. I put this image together as an at-home image. It's clearly not perfect. I think that's the kind of example we want to show your kids. Go ahead and grab some stuff and create your own and shoot me a picture of that. So what do you notice? What do you wonder? What is the same? What is different? And so this is just a fun. Again, my examples are easy here, but we can kick that up a notch eventually. Right now, it's about just connecting and working on this particular strategy and approach to learning. Here's another one that I just created, and I think this one is fun, kicking it up a little bit of a notch. And a third one I created, and so I was using the free app by the Math Learning Center. So shout out to them. Their online interactive apps are amazing and you can create all kinds of cool things. So a compare and contrast here. What do you notice is the same? What is different? So here's 3 more images that aren't on the website that you can take a look at and use and share with your students if you'd like, ranging from real life objects to pictures of objects to using an app. Those are 3 different ways that we might create those images. Okay. So I hope you found this valuable. I'm so thrilled to see all of the conversation about same but different math online. Here's the website. Probably you're aware of it. Everything is free for there. It will always be free. I will never take that down. I hope to add more images there. If you want this videotape PowerPoint, maybe to share with others, or maybe you want to look at that protocol again, you can pause the video here, type that in, and that will send you to lead pages where you can, download a link to this PowerPoint. If you want to hear from me on other ways, you can text 22828, put in the word Looney Math, and then you'll get on a mailing list to get future emails. If you just want to be in touch ask me any questions. I really do want to be a lifeline and of help to you right now. You can email me, you can go to my website, all of that. So I just encourage you to stay connected, to remain as positive as you can right now. And I hope that this brings you some joy. Take good care, everybody.